Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamada Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Ashyakritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Shri Harim Paramanandam Upadeshtaramishwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokanam Karanam Tam Namamyaham. Aparokṣānubhūtirvai Prochyate moksha siddhaye Sadbhireva prayatnena Vikshaniya muhurmuhu. So in so many verses, the author communicated the Brahma Rupa, that Jagat or creation is nothing but Brahma. Suvarnat Jayamanasya Suvarnatvam cha Shashvatam. This is that which is born of gold is always gold. Shashvatam. That which is born of gold is always gold and nothing but gold really. Similarly, Brahmano Jayamanasya, Vedanta teaches that the universe is born of Brahman. Brahman is the Jagat Karanam. Both, in fact, the Upadana Karanam as well as Nimitta Karanam, the material cause as well as the intelligent cause. Although, what is of relevance in this discussion is the material cause. It says, so Suvarna Jayamanasya. Suvarna, the gold, is the material cause of all the ornaments naturally. So Upadanam, for creating what you reach out, what you pick up is the material cause. If you want to make chapati, you reach out for the dough. So, for making ornaments, you reach out for gold. So, that is called the Upadanam. And thus, for the making ornaments, you reach out for gold. So, gold is the material cause for which ornaments are made. Shashvatam. The ornaments are always gold. And really speaking, ornaments are nothing but gold also. Because in creating ornament, nothing is added in gold. Although the mechanics will say you add energy and stuff like that, But otherwise, as far as substance is concerned, no substance is added for making ornaments out of gold. Similarly, as the gold is the material cause of the ornament, so also is Brahman the material cause of the universe. Brahmano jayamanasya. Similarly also, the universe of names and forms that is born of Brahman. So this name and form has no real existence. Ornament is of course the gold and name and form. But name and form is no substance. The substance in ornament is only gold. So Vedanta would say name and form really is a vacharambhanam, vikaravnavadhayam, mrityaka ityeva satyam. So in them, that will come when the father told Shvetaketu that knowing which everything as well becomes known. How can it be? Because by knowing one particle of gold, everything that is made of gold is as well known, because what is made of gold is nothing but gold. Vikaro namadhayam vacharambhanam. What about Bengal? So Bengal is made of gold. What is Bengal? Vikaraha, modification, just name and form. Vacharambhanam, vak arambhanam, or vacha arambhanam, vacha arambhanam. It has its origin only in speech. Bengal has its origin in speech, not in gold. Bengal has its origin in speech. What do you mean? What is speech? The word Bengal. So what you call Bengal is no reality other than the word Bengal. This object that I am holding in my hand, the reality is gold only. Vacharambhanam, vikaro namadhayam, vikara, modification. In this case, name and form is vacharambhanam. Arambhanam has its origin has begun only in speech. So Bengal is what is the reality of Bengal? Simply word Bengal. Bengal has its origin in speech means what? Bengal is no more than the word Bengal. So what is this? Gold. And so because take away gold there is no Bengal, etc. So this is a very interesting way of saying that Bengal has no reality other than the word Bengal. What happens is, when we use a word, the word has the magic, has a power of creating a corresponding concept or notion in our mind. So when we use the word Bengal, it creates in our mind the notion of a round object. So we think that the Bengal is some kind of a real thing. Says no, the notion of Bengal that is created is merely created by the utterance of word Bengal. And there is no substance other than the name Bengal and form Bengal. So Bengal is just name and form, no substance. A very profound statement. Very profound. So, scientists really studied this Vedanta. They would just flabbergasted what Vedanta reveals. As far as the reality is concerned. As far as appearance is concerned, okay. As far as the reality is concerned. The problem is that some appearance also is created, which is Bengal. And not recognizing that the Bengal part is appearance and the gold part is reality. Not recognizing, we think Bengal is different and then the earring is different, etc. Suvarna jayamanasya suvarnatvam cha shashvatam. What is born of gold is always gold and nothing but gold. If something else appears there other than gold, such as a round form, etc., understand that it has no reality whatever. It doesn't exist. No reality, because that alone can be called existent, which enjoys its own existence. And name and form, if they existed, then some residue would remain after removing gold from the ornament. Some residue would remain if this bangle had some reality. But no residue remains. And so, what is gold? You mean this Brahman, Swami? Yes. What about all the names and forms? No reality at all. You see, there's no reality. But if you don't become emotional about things, just objective. If by reality we mean that which cannot be negated, which is substance, so that which cannot be negated, then every form is subject to being negated. Because a form reduces to another form. This form, such a part, reduces another form called clay. When you re-examine, clay will reduce to yet another is effect cause. Every effect reduces to material cause. So when you really examine what this part is, it will reduce to what? Clay, which is another name and form. And again when you examine clay, it will reduce to what? However you want to do that. If you want to do the Vedantic way, clay will reduce to earth. It will reduce to water, to fire, to air, to space. Disappears. So we know in experiment, as the temperature of a thing rises and slowly it just becomes thinner and then disappears. Or if we take the scientific way also, then molecules and atoms and subatomic particles, and if this thing had any substance, it would never disappear. But the scientists also find that this disappears. That means this is just, even though it is so tangible, Swamiji, you think it's not substance and put it on, strike it with the head, then you know where the substance is. That is not the way to determine substance anyway. Whatever is negatable has no substance, that's all. And the name and form are negated when this is reduced to clay. And clay gets negated and reduced to earth. Gets negated and reduced to its own cause. And the effect gets reduced to cause and cause and cause. And where will it go ultimately? Even intellectually also you perform this exercise. This reduction will lead us where? It will necessarily lead us to a cause which is not the effect. So far what's happening is that the effect is a cause also. A cause is effect also. That's why it gets reduced. So in as much as this is part is an effect, reduces to its own cause, which again is cause. So this reduction must lead where? To a cause which is not in effect. Otherwise it'll keep on reducing, there'll be infinite regression. Somewhere this should end. One thing is that this invest inquiry has to lead some place where it is irreducible, otherwise the universe would not be there. If the infinite regression, then means that universe is not yet there, created, follow, still that is going on. The fact that things are there means that there must be a basis which is there, which cannot be further reduced. So all of this should reduce to a cause, which is cause of everything all right, but which is not in effect. Effectless cause, causeless cause, I should say. Uncaused cause, that's the thing. Reduces to uncaused cause. Although I heard a tape, of this, now there is the new fashion called atheism, in West, in America and everywhere, this is all, so there is no God. So they laugh at these people who talk of God. So they call God what? Uncaused cause, How can they be uncaused cause? The thing is, if God created universe, who created God? You can't answer this. We say God is uncaused cause. How can it be? If God created world, you tell us, who created God? Stupid, that is called God, who is not created. They think everything has to be created. There is something that exists, which is not created, that becomes the basis of all creation. What can become the basis of creation is that which is always there, which is not created, that alone can become the basis of creation. Otherwise, it's infinite regression. The universe would not be there. So this leads us to a substratum, which is the cause of everything, which itself is not the effect. And so that is what? Asti bhati priyam. So therefore, really speaking, when you examine anything, only as far as Vedanta is concerned, only substance is asti bhati priyam. And that therefore, asti bhati priyam cannot become the material cause, because asti bhati priyam cannot undergo change to become the effect. The material cause must undergo change to become effect, like the clay becomes pot. Your asti bhati priyam is changeless, cannot become the effect. How can it become a jagat? So Vedanta does not become. If you examine the original cause, asti bhati priyam, it doesn't make sense that there can be any effect, because it cannot be material cause in primary sense. So it is as though material cause. In what way? Just as the rope is the material cause of a snake. So snake is nothing but rope. So also Jagat is nothing but Brahman. This is all intellectually Swami. But then we have to then use our instrument of the mind, and closely look at anything. And determine what is the unchanging aspect of this. What is the non-negatable thing in this? You can meditate on that. Will you arrive at what? Asti bhati priyam. Is that right? No. Asmi bhami priyam. Not asti. Asti is not something. Asti means, something else. Asti means is. No, am. Is must ultimately become am. All that remains is I am, I shine, I am dear. So Brahman is the same as Atma. So this is what all along is being said. And so the Dvaitam, the duality of subject and object, also has the same reality as a pot. Meaning subject-object duality also does not have any substance. The only substance is non-duality. Call it Brahman or call it Atma. Yatra ajnanat bhavet dvaitam. It is by ignorance that you superimpose the subject-object duality upon what is one, and then say, I am the seer, that is seen. But if you examine seer, who is the seer, fellow? Consciousness which has assumed the role of a seer. Look at the scene. Consciousness assumes the role of scene. What is seeing? Consciousness. You find, when you examine each one of them reduced to consciousness or asti bhati priyam, in which there is no duality of the seer and seen. And what's the use of this knowledge? Yasmin sarvani bhutani hyatmatvena vijanatah. When all the beings are known not only as Brahman but as self, as you say, asti bhati priyam should ultimately reduce to what? Asmi bhami priyam. When for the wise man who sees all the beings, things and beings are nothing but the self. Navaitasya bhavayan moha na shoka advitiyataha. So all that remains in the perception of the wise person is what? Just the self. The I, but not the I that we see right now. Right now the I of my I excludes your I. When I use the pronoun I, in that pronoun I, the you-ness is not there, understand? When I use the pronoun I, it excludes, the you-ness is not, the you is not included in my I. We are not talking about that I. It is I that does not exclude anything. So then I also becomes as though I, meaning individual. There is no individuality in that I. Why do you call it I? You have to call something. Meaning what I also does not primarily apply to that, but you still call it I because I becomes a gateway of reaching there. You take the I and examine what is this I, then it reduces to again irreducible substance, asti bhati priyam, in which the individuality is no more there. So I remains without the individuality. No individuality, no subjectness, no objectness. Naitasya bhavayan moha, then there is no projection, no superimposition, therefore no shoga, no grief. So Vedanta solution of becoming free from shoka or grief is this. When you see that you alone are, you alone is limitless. Nothing stands apart from you. Nothing can threaten you. You include everybody. Nothing excludes you. Nothing limits you. You are truly limitless. Then you become totally acceptable to yourself. When do you like yourself? Ideally, what do you want to see yourself to be? I want to see myself as a successful person. All right. When will I feel that I am truly successful? When I will find that I am free from all limitations. As long as I has any limitation, momentarily I may feel it is successful, but ultimately no, not quite. I want to be totally satisfied with myself as long as there is any idea of limitation in I. So only when I discover the I as devoid of all limitations, that Atmaneva Atmana Tushtaha, then I am totally satisfied with myself, by myself. When the total satisfaction is there, where is the scope of unhappiness? All grief arises on account of my not being happy with myself. All shoka or grief arises on account of my not being satisfied with myself. My not being happy with myself. My not quite accepting myself. How come I don't accept myself? Because I find myself limited. So when I see any limitation in myself, I become unhappy with my own self. And that is the basic cause of all the grief. You become the cause of my grief. Somebody becomes the instrument in causing grief in me. When you managed to create in me the idea of limitedness. When you manage to create in me the idea of limitedness, then I become unhappy. How do you do that? By not cooperating with me. Please do that. I'm sorry, Swamiji. I feel frustrated. You won't do that? What do you mean? I feel I feel helpless, incapable. I can't make you do what I want. I can't control you. So I feel frustrated with my own self. I don't have my way. I get angry at you, but before that I'm frustrated with myself that I'm no good. This person doesn't do what I want, means I'm nothing. So when I find myself incapable, inadequate, I become frustrated with myself. That is the cause of anger. That's the cause of grief. That's the cause of unhappiness. As our Swami would say, you are the problem. I am the problem. Which I who finds myself limited in any way, becomes the cause of problem or grief. I become the solution when I discover that I am free of all limitations. Navaitasya, this is the use of this knowledge, practical use. Navaitasya bhaven moha na shoko advitiyataha. On account of advitiyata, on account of non-duality. Meaning there is nothing to limit me. All there is I, and therefore there is nothing to limit me. On account of that, there is no dissatisfaction, there is no complaint, there is none, a total satisfaction. So in ananda, total ananda, there is no grief, no sadness at all. Now what the author is discussing now is the mithyatva, the duality. How can non-duality be real? Only when the duality is unreal. Therefore, the mithyatvam or unreality of duality also must be very clearly understood, and it must be impressed upon me. The reason why the author makes the same point in so many verses, where one verse would have been enough, he may write 5 verses, giving no new idea. Just different illustration. What is he doing, I know, I understand. Why do you keep repeating? Repeating because in order to drive home the point and create in me that vasana. Or vasana? Vasana of the unreality of the universe. Why that so? Because I take the universe to be real. So by birth we do these 2 things. That what is not self, the body, mind, sense, is taken to be self. And what is not real, the world, is taken to be real. As long as this is there, you can never be free from grief regardless of what you do. You can become the emperor, or you can be whatever you can become. As long as you take the anatma to be the self and take the world to be real, nobody can ever become free from sadness. He can become free from other things. From poverty and this and that, he can become free. But from sadness, one cannot become free. So that's all you need. That's the power that you need. If other powers you don't have, that's okay. Meaning there are so many siddhis and powers are there, which are nice to have. But any kind of power I may have of converting, reading your mind, and all kinds of stuff. Then also, as long as the duality is real for me, as long as this body, mind, sense is Atma, so long regardless of what accomplishments I have at the level of the body, because these are all accomplishments. After a Nobel laureate is a highly accomplished person, his intellectual accomplishment is just gigantic. And the fellow who is the world boxing champion, another accomplishment. So all athletes are accomplished, all artists are accomplished, all scientists are accomplished people. It's not only that those people who produce something out of air is only accomplished. All these are accomplished people. But nobody can be free from grief, that we can assure you. Regardless of what accomplishment you have, you cannot be free from sadness. As long as you take yourself individual, different from others, and as long as you take the differences as real, one cannot be free from unhappiness. And they were not free from jealousy, from politics, won't be free. All these fellows won't be free from politics, means from manipulation, these will always be there. Self-assertion, controlling, things will always be there. At the highest level of art and science and everywhere. I'm not suggesting that they can be enlightened people, it's not that. But if he's not, then he cannot be free from shoka or grief. And then what kind of success is that? As long as you're unhappy, you can't be called a successful person. So they had conducted a survey of very highly successful people. Successful executives, successful businessmen, successful people, At a personal level, how do you feel? Do you feel that you are happy? You are satisfied? So no. What is happiness? What is the nature of how is your relationship with others? How do you relate to others? Are you happy with your relationships or there are problems there? So how are you with yourself? All of them reported that we have difficulty in sleeping, we have difficulty in relating to spouse, all kinds of problems are there. Meaning that all those accomplishments at the worldly level did not relieve them from this fundamental problem of sadness. It's not nobody's fault. It's only that people do not know what's the cause of sadness. They think that, okay, that because I am not a well-known person, therefore I am sad, so it becomes well-known. Because I am not a billionaire, so it becomes a billionaire, etc. But then discovers that all of those things do not change as far as self-satisfaction is concerned. The only thing is I want is self-satisfaction. I just want to be comfortable with myself. I simply want to be happy with myself. That's all I want. Nothing else. Because when I'm happy with myself, I'm automatically happy with everything else. This is a secret. I need not do anything separate to be happy with you. All I need to do is to be happy with myself. Nothing separate is to be done to accept yourself. All I need is to accept myself. The reason why I cannot accept others is because basically I am not accepting myself. I complain about others because I am basically complaining about myself. I am not satisfied with others because I am not satisfied with myself. It's all centered on I. That is why the emphasis on knowing I. Na vetasya bhavayan mohaha na cha shoka advitiyataha. Advitiya is the fifth case. It is what we call the hetu or the cause, the reason. Advitiyataha. On account of the reason of non-duality, na tatra tasya. For that person, na bhavayan shoka mohaha na cha shoka. Tasya ko moha ka shoka. Where is the grief? Where is the delusion? Endeavor. But this universe is real. How can you call it unreal? This wall is real. It is protecting me. It is, it is supporting this house. Book is real. Water is real. It is quenching my thirst. So thus, we again are oriented towards taking as real whatever we perceive, and that serves the purpose or useful. Anubhuto pyam loka vyavaharakṣamo san. Understand that this universe which we experience, vyavaharakṣama, even though it is vyavaharakṣama, it has what we call the objective reality. Vyavahara, that it is useful in all our transactions, useful to serve the purposes in our life. That it appeases my hunger and quenches my thirst and protects me from cold and all of this. Even then, asadrupa, it is still mithya, it is still not real. So as we saw in the morning, the only test of reality is that it should be non-negatable. So that alone is called satyam, which is abhaditam. The same idea is continued with the verse 59. The author also took the three states of our experience of waking, dream and deep sleep, and using the example of dream, that all of us know that the dream is mithya, is an appearance. What we experience in dream is not really there, there is no tangible objects there. Although while we are dreaming toward the dreamer, the dream world appears to be real. Only when we wake up, then we realize that it is mithya. So understand that dream is mithya from the standpoint of waker. And so also you can wake up from this world. Yes, sakshat kurde prabodha samaye swatmanam evadam. Just as when you wake up from the dream, you realize that the whole dream world was yourself only. The subject, the speaker in the dream also was you. The listener also was you. Similarly, when you wake up from this world, many wake up from the sleep of ignorance, you find out the subject also is you. Object, the universe, but subject, object is nothing but one. Nanu avasthatram mithya bhavatu. Okay. Avasthatra means what? Waking, dream and deep sleep. Okay, they are mithya. Why they are mithya? Because they are mutually exclusive. The waking does not exist in dream. So when dream comes, it displaces or negates waking. So waking is negatable. Therefore it is not real. The dream is not there in deep sleep state. So dream also is negatable, badhayogyam. Therefore, dream also is not real. The deep sleep also is negated when you wake up. And so, deep sleep also is not real, accepted. Nanu avasthatram mithya bhavatu. The waking, dream, deep sleep, inasmuch as each one of them displaces the other, therefore, we understand that they are mithya or unreal or appearance. Jivastu satya syat. But how about Jivatma? He is there. So why not Jiva? So the Navastatra, the waking dream, etc., they are mithya. But what about Jiva? Why not Jiva be satya? The individual self, he is satyam, why not? So this question, on what basis do you say that the individual self is mithya? The waking is mithya because displaced by dream and so on. But how do you say jiva is displaced by whom? The jiva or the individual self does not seem to displace at all. So how do you say that is mithya? So then that is being answered in verse 59. Yadvanmriti ghata bhrantim shukto va rajatasthirim tadvad brahmani jivatvam vikshyamane pashyate. Yadvad bhrati Ghatabhranti Shukto va rajasthitim Tadvad brahmani jivatvam vikshamayana pashyate. Yadvad, just as Mrudi Ghatabhrantim. So Yadvad Mrudi Ghatabhrantim na pashyate. This is how you have to say, Yadvad vikshamane mrudim Ghatabhrantim na pashyati. Meaning that when you take an object which is called part, vikshamane, meaning that when you really see what it is, vikshamane, when you analyze what this object is, then what? Ghatabhrantim na pashyati. When he focuses his attention on this object called the part, to determine what it is, he realizes that it is nothing but clay. Clay alone is the non-negatable aspect of this object, and therefore he no more sees this object. So it is up to you whether to see this object as a part, which of course you can see. But if you focus your attention on something that is changeless in this, then you find that it is nothing but clay. What is incidental? Clay is essential. So what is essential thing in this object? When you see vikshamane, not only see in your eye, with your eye, but see with your mind also. Because understand that the ghata also is seen by the mind. Eyes give me a data and mind says this is a pot. So the notion of pot is in the mind. So when we see this object objectively, then ghata bhrantim na pashyati. This one does not see the bhranti or delusion of ghata at all. Shuktau cha rajasthitim. So Shuktau vai rajat. Then similarly also, another standard example in Vedanta is one of the mother of pearl or the shell, which sometimes we confuse with silver. So while taking a walk on the beach, there are those shells lying there, and very often upon the surface of the shell, those fine sand particles are sticking, and those, when the sunlight falls on that, those sand particles reflect light, brightness. When you see that shell, it appears very bright like silver. And therefore this bhranti or the delusion of silver in a shell is also very common. At least this is an example of it. I mean, whether you have ever seen it or not, I don't know. With a rope and snake, so far I have not experienced it, but then you can imagine. So, but it's understandable that this can happen. The rope can be taken to be a snake, but the rope may not be. Sometimes when you take a walk, there's not enough light. Things sometimes appear like, so because even things falling from the tree, there are those little branches and things, twigs, which are curved. And then you wait a minute, what is this, And so you wonder. So it's not unusual to see one thing as the other. And therefore, this is an example. So rope snake is one example, and shell and silver is another example. Both are examples of projection. One thing projected upon the other, or one thing seen as different from what it really is. So what happens when a rope is seen in a snake? It creates fear, it creates a dvesha, an aversion or hatred. And when a shell is seen as silver, it creates attraction. So one is the example of raga, other is the example of dvesha, So when I see silver in a shell, I'm attracted to that. So only when I pick up, then I realize and I throw it away. But how that projection of silver causes raga and projection of snake causes dvesha. Vedanta says all raga dveshas are like this only. Raga dveshas are created only on account of not seeing the thing for what it is, seeing it different from what it is alone can call raga dvesha. If you saw thing as it is, it would not cause raga dvesha at all. That I hate something or I am fascinated by something is only because I do not see that thing for what it is. Otherwise, I have no reaction at all. If I see things for what they are, what are they? If I see things really for what will I find, I see anything for what it is, what will I find? Brahman? Or what? Self. There cannot be raga and dvesha in self, meaning I cannot have attraction for myself or aversion for myself. Is it not so? When I know that this is self, I can't say that I love my right hand more than left hand and things like that, because it's self. Or I hate my head and I love my feet, etc. Because in Atma, in one, there can be raga or dvesha. Otherwise, raga dveshas will be there. So only when I see things for what they really are, I discover there is nothing but Atma, then only raga dvesha goes. So Vedanta says that the raga is created because of seeing silver in the shell. It would not be created if you had seen it as a shell. No fascination would have been created if the object was seen for what it is, a shell. And similarly, no fear or hatred would have been created if you seen the object, rope, for what it is. So similarly also here, tadvad brahmani jivatvam vikshamanena pashyati. Similarly also, brahmani vikshamane. It is the Sati Saptami. when Brahmatvam is seen in Jiva. So Sati Saptami is what? When? You just learned this afternoon? Oh. Mrudi Vikshamane Ghadaprantim na pashyati. Rajatastitim. So Shukta Vikshamane Rajastatim na pashyati. Brahmani Vikshamane. What is it? Brahmani Vikshamane na pashyati. Kim na pashyati? Jivatvam na pashyati. So Mrudi Vikshamane. When the clay is seen, no more one sees a pot in there. Shukta Vikshamane. When the shell is seen, Rajatastitim, no more one sees the silver. So Brahmani Vikshamane. So when I see Brahman here itself, Jivatvam na pashyati. When I see myself as Brahman, when I see in myself also, what is the abiding aspect is Asti Bhati Priyam Brahman, then Jivatvam is no more there. Therefore Jivatvam also is as Mithya. That Jivatvam is as Mithya as the snake or the silver or the pot. Vikshamane Sakshat Krute Sati. When Brahmatvam, when Brahmani Sakshat Krute, I realize, I see myself as Brahman, then no more Jiva remains. But Swami, that seems to be another brainwashing only. That's what they say, I think your Guru has brainwashed you, that you are Brahman, you are Brahman, you are Brahman. So you keep repeating, I am Brahman. So people say, this is brainwashing. So what would you say? We would say that you are right now brainwashed. We are unwashing them, really speaking. To say that I am so and so is brainwashing. Ignorance has effectively done that. Only when you see yourself Brahman, then you realize that then brain is all, then it's all right. So it's not that I am Brahman is brainwashing. It is to make me free from the brain that is already washed. Tadvat, because we invite you. Look at yourself closely. What are you? Are you a speaker, thinker, talker, walker, eater? Then you keep on changing. What are you? Sometimes I'm happy, I'm unhappy, I'm walking Swamiji, I'm talking, I'm busy, I'm studying, I'm going out, all right. So who are you? The walker you are, the talker you are, the eater you are, who are you? Decide and tell me. Every time I ask you, tell me different things, How are you? No, all right, Swami, How are you? Wonderful. How are you? Okay. So then what are you really? Should not that be a question? That every time I think of myself, I find a different self. Is it not so? Just like this crystal, every time you look at the crystal, sometimes it is some red color or whatever that is, and then a blue color, and some other time it's a yellow color. So what is this thing? Is it yellow? Or is it blue? Or is it red? What is this? A question should arise. Is not every time the crystal appears, should any sensible person know, what is this thing? How it appears different all the time? Similarly also, I'm happy now, sometimes unhappy, sometimes talker, walker, thinker, eater, drinker. Then who am I? So then from that we have to separate the variable part, changing part. And the only thing that is sustainable is what? I am. That walker comes and goes, and talker comes and goes, and thinker comes and... They're all incidental. Like different colors come and go in this crystal, it's all incidental. So this Vikshamane, when you realize, when you see yourself as I am, when can you see that? If you have that enough vairagya to just let go, I am not talker, so let go of the talker. How did talker came? It came by identification of the organ of talking. Just give it up. I'm hearer. How did the hearer come? By identifying the organ of hearing. Let it go. If you had that facility, it's as simple as that. I'm sorry, it's not simple. But if you have that viveka, vairagya, samadhi, shatka, sampati, then we can do that. Then just let go. You let go of the identification that all these kind of roles, these are all roles. Speaker also is a role, thinker also is a role, seer also is a role, listener also is a role. Who is the actor in this role? What is it? The king is there, that for now is the beggar, then is the minister, then is the hero, then is the villain. Who is really there? Who is unchanging part in that? So also who is unchanging in here? I am. That's all. So I am, and it's self-evident. I am, I shine. That's all I am, Swamiji. That doesn't sound exciting. That's all I am. Yes, I am. I shine, that's all I am. Simple. Asti, bhadi, nothing else. It's not exciting. In fact, that is where there is total peace, only because when speaker comes, then agitation comes. Thinker comes, disturbance comes. Any comes, disturbance. When they go away, no disturbance at all. Total tranquility. In fact, you don't need excitement. What you need is tranquility. Excitement also is subject to coming and going. So Vedantis don't like excitement. Bhaktas may like it. Vedantis don't like it. Bhakta wants, some kind of wave of excitement. Says no. Total, because even the content of excitement ultimately is only tranquility. Total tranquility in I am. The total self-acceptance, total self-satisfaction. So Brahmani Vikshmana. When I see myself as Brahman, then Jivatvam, that talker, walker, etc., the reality goes, you may still continue to talk. Now you know that it's just a role. It's a role that you're performing. Where the actor has his true identity, it's also your identity is I am Brahman. Ajnana avasthayam pratiyamano jiva brahma. So now matra iti. So one point is made in so many verses. Just to impress upon us, because that I am a jiva has become so deeply rooted in me that I am Brahman has to be asserted again and again and again. Just as mother will tell the child when the first time going out, oh, take care, okay? Don't talk to a stranger. Oh, remember your this. Remember I packed your lunch. Remember that. Okay, 1,500 times, to impress. Take care. Because normally he doesn't take care. He is being what is. The mother is always there. But now she knows that he is going alone, and therefore he doesn't have that benefit, so reminds. Here also, same thing is said in one verse, the example is changed, open saying, this and that, that's all that changes. The thing is, the idea is to vasana dardhyaya. So creating a new vasana. Only we have the vasana. What's the vasana? Body I am. The world is it, that's a vasana. The fundamental vasanas are that this body, mind, sense complex I am. That's the vasana. That the world of name and form is real, that's the vasana. All other vasanas are born of this, basically. Because I am body, mind, sense complex, therefore I am limited, therefore there is a desire that I want to become free from that limitation. So that causes the vasana then slowly gets confounded, multiplied. So the teacher wants to create a new vasana. I am Brahman. So Jiva Brahma Bheda now matra iti. The duality between Jiva and Brahma is no more than name. Jiva is one name, Brahma is another. Other than that, there is no difference, What is the difference between, for example, what is the difference between a bangle and an earring? Only name. Bangle, name, earring. What it is called. So that's what he said in the next verse. it doesn't look like the verse is different from the previous verse, but slight difference is there. Yatha mrudi ghato nama kanake kundala bhidha shuktau hi rajata khyati jiva shabdastatha pare. Yatha mrudi ghato nama. Mrudi, which case is this? Seventh case. Is it Sati Saptami? That you have to ask him. If it is Saptami, it's not Sati Saptami, you know. Simple Saptami. This is Adhikarana Saptami. Yatha mrudi ghato nama. Just as in the clay, or there is name called pot. The clay is given a name. What name? Pot. Kanake kundala bhira. The gold is given a name. What? Kundala. Kundala means earring. Okay, the things have gone away or what? Yeah, they are here. So I was missing them. So this is the kundala. This is called kundalam. Kanake kundala bhira. In gold, what is the name? In the gold we give the name kundalam. So we feel that that's a real thing. What happens is, moment you call something by a name, it just creates the idea that it is real. So moment you call this object pot, if you had continued to call it clay, there was no problem. As we said yesterday, but Swami says this clay pot is not potty clay. Suppose you say potty clay, then no problem would have been there. Because the idea of clay persists in your mind. This is clay. If you had called it bangly gold, there was no problem. The moment you give the name bangle, you think that there is an entity called bangle. The moment you call it pot, automatically we assume that there is an entity called pot. Shuktavi rajata khyatihi. When we call this silver, where there is in fact shell, khyatihi. Khyati means name. So, khyati actually is something that is how, but khyati means akhya, nama. So just as there is name called pot in clay, there is name called earring in gold, there is name called silver in the shell. Similarly, jiva shabdas tatha pare. Pare, seventh case again. So, mrudi ghata shabda hai. Kanake kundala shabda hai. Shukto ratat shabda hai. Tatha pare jiva shabda hai. What is para? What is pare brahmani? What is param brahma? We use the word jiva. Then we think that jiva is real. So this word has a tremendous capacity. The words, and so as we say, moment you say clay pot, immediately it looks like pot is substantive and clay is adjective. When you say golden bangle, looks like bangle is substantive, gold is adjective. So, gold is adjective. What is the name? Is bangly gold. When you say then, you know that substance is gold. And bangle is an adjective. What is adjective? Something that is incidental. What is substance? That which is essentially there. So, with a golden clay pot, looks like pot is substance and clay is incidental. It's the other way around. Clay is a substance and pot is incidental. So really it would have been potty clay, bangly gold. If this kind of Shabda Prayoga or expressions were there, it would have created the right idea. And so also, rather than calling Jiva or Shabda, what is it? Brahman coming in the form of Jiva. Tatha Jiva Shabda hai. Similarly also, in Pare Brahmani Jiva Shabda hai. So just as a difference, there are these two words now. Clay and pot. What is the difference between clay and pot? Nama matra hai. Two names are there, Clay is one word, pot is another word. So difference between clay and pot is nothing but difference in names. not in substance. So you choose to call clay pot, and then therefore what's the difference? Only in name. Clay is one word, pot is another word, substance is the same. So difference between clay and pot is simply between the words clay and pot and not in substance. Similarly, the difference between gold and earring is what? Merely in the words gold and earring. There is no difference in substance. So also Jiva and Brahma. What difference is only in Nama. One thing is called Jiva, is called Brahman. Nama, what is Brahman? That alone comes to be called Jiva. What is gold? Alone comes to be called earring. What is clay? Alone comes to be called a pot. And then so many examples are given. Next one says, Namatra prapanchasya mithyada vasana dardhyaya. So whole prapancha is what? Just Nama. The whole universe, every creation is what? Only Nama. What is created? It's an interesting thing. You say that you created a pot. What have you really created, The word pot. What is created? In this one, what is created? Before creation, this object was clay. After creation, now the object is a pot. So what is created? The word pot is created because the clay aspect is the same. So whatever is created is just word or name. You follow? The name pot is created. So whatever. So from example of the clay and pot, we understand that what is created is nothing more than the name. You follow? Similarly, the substance is gold. When you create an earring from that, what have you created? The name earring has been created. So Jagat is created. What is created? The name is created. The whole universe. So Vedanta says that whenever any creation takes place, all that is created is just name, nothing more. What do you mean, Swami? This is just name part? That's what it is. Because substance is clay. Take away the clay, nothing remains. Similarly, the whole universe is what? Just name. Nothing more than that. So similarly, Namatra prapanchasya. Whole prapancha, the whole universe or creation is what? Namamatram. Merely name and nothing else. Vacharambhanam, vikara vacharam. Name is what? Word. Word has its origin in speech. So that's all the reality of the creation. Because you choose to call it pot. It's your choice. You could have called it clay also, is it not so? Our Swami in the olden days used to carry this kind of a chain. And what is this? Oh, this is a chain. Suppose a man comes from village who has never seen a chain, but he knows the gold all right. For him, what is this? This is gold. You crawl, what is this? It's just gold. Now, can you say it's wrong? You can't say. That it is chain is just, you can say gold plus names. What is created? The name chain is created, or the word chain is created. That is Vedanta. What is created is just name. So whole universe is what? Created is just name. So namatra prapanchasya. The whole prapancha, the whole universe which is a creation is no reality more than just the word or nama. Mithya to vasana dardhyaya, that nama is mithya because it has no independent existence. The substance only is gold. Imamevartham bhavi loka prasidhashtanda, same thing. That the creation is mithya is prapancha explains in detail with so many examples. Anyway, let us look at one example. Yathaiva vyomni nilatvam yatha niram marusthale Purushatvam yatha sthano tadvad vishvam chidatmane. So yatheva vyomni nihilatvam, just as there is blueness in the sky. So those days they also knew that the blueness is not, So this example is old. As old, Shankaracharya gives this example. Well, here also is given, and in Bhashya also you find, just as blueness in the sky. So they knew there is no such thing as blueness, isn't it? Somehow they must have known. Yatheva vyomni nihilatvam yatha niram marusthale. Just as you see water, so water is created in the desert. What is created? The mirage water. Purushattvam yathasthanau, the ghost on the post, So what is in fact is post or a stump of tree, and sometimes looks like it is ghost, because when you're in village and then, going from one village to, sometimes people go for watching a movie, for example, From a village he goes to a nearby town to watch the movie. And it's 9 to 12, late night show, and comes home after 12 or 12:30. He's all alone and he's getting scared anyway. So he keeps singing all long. He loudly sings, to just feel good about things. That's what people do, they sing. In passing this forest and then see something. What these fellows do is, there is actually just a stump of tree. On that they put a shirt or something like that, just to make an appearance so that the birds will be cheated, and misguided, and they think that somebody is standing there. That very same thing, when these fellows ghost because already he is scared. Sometimes they have seen the ghost movie and he's coming with the idea of ghost and returning. He sees ghost. So ghost on the post. What is that? Is a stump of tree. You see a ghost. That's called creation. So that's the nature of creation. So, Tadvad Vishwam Chidatma. Similarly, what we call Vishwam is Chidatmani. What it is, Chidatma, the consciousness. Upon that, you see Vishwam, or the universe of name and form. So that way, the example of Mithyatvam are given here. That this is reality no more than name. It's a very, very serious thing and very, very profound thing. That what you call creation has no substance more than the word. What you call part has no substance more than the word part. Any creation, anything created has no substance more than the word. And universe is a conglomerate of all the created objects. Every object has no reality more than the word. So whole universe has no reality more than the word. That's all it is. The reality is only Brahman. Brahman only is given name. Call it human being, call it animal, call it Devata, call it God, call it what you will. They are all names of what? Of Brahman. This is a pot, a pitcher, all names of clay. And so also, Swami and XY, everything is name of whose name? Brahman. Because creation is nothing more than name. Sounds very, looks like Swamiji, this is some radical kind of a thing, But when we think about it, that's what we find. Even there's nothing more than name here. It's all flesh and blood and there's all tangible stuff, and you think there's all the emotional being, and there's nothing more than name. What substance is only Brahman. Then projection, you can project so many things. The whole dream is projected, and then so many emotions are there and all kinds of things happen in dream. That doesn't make it real. Just because it looks like flesh and blood and tangible and causes me all kinds of emotions doesn't make it real. When you wake up, it's not there at all. So thus, to impress upon ourselves, our mind, because we have been from the time beginningless, giving reality to the names and forms, and never thinking that the world is different, I am different. Therefore the idea of duality or division gets created, and therefore grief is created. Our basic intention or desire is to become free from all sorrow, so that the ananda or happiness, which is my nature, becomes manifest. That's our primary agenda. So Vedanta seeks to achieve the accomplished agenda by identifying the basic cause of sadness. So what is the name? You take it so seriously. You give it reality, and that's a problem. So understand things for what they are. That all Vedanta says is, understand everything for what it is. No more, no less. So we are not ridiculing the universe. We are not rejecting it. We are, we are just understanding the universe for what it is. Understanding anything for what it is. Nothing more than that. And nothing less than that also. That's called being objective. And that's what Vedanta teaches us. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.